Oh, did you store my color? Oh, good, 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 good. Oh, because it's on the tablet. So this is the thing. This is so interesting. Oh my God, bots, stop. Hey guys, if you're real, I need you to go ahead and comment. If not, I have to block you. If you're a real person, I need you to put a period or something. If not, I have to block you. Right now it says 0. So I'm on drained battery on both accounts. I got to say something super important. Let me wait and see if anybody shows up on YouTube. I'm going to tell you how their censorship works and the day in the life. I'm going to tell you something so interesting. This is my grass-fed gelatin right here. So I just went on my account. So I had an order that just got picked up today. One of it was homemade fermented sriracha, which is the best sriracha I've ever had in my life. And I sell it in my store. And I went on TikTok to make a video because I pulled out my hazelnut syrup and I just had to make a video about it because I ran out of my coffee syrup. So I went to the fridge to pull out a new one. And every time I do that, I just have to make a video. So, and it wasn't just that. I was putting together my super immune adaptogen tonic, and which is just an incredibly powerful product. And this is actually why they ended up distorting my color. So this is why, oh shoot, hold on. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. This is gonna die. Oh no, what is happening? This phone's gonna die any second, so I have to make this quick. I just made a video on TikTok and I was just excited. I was working on my order that just got picked up from someone that was out of town that came in locally. She got an incredible discount. She picked up the sriracha that I'm about to finish off to make my own self a bottle right now. So I've got all the stuff but I wanted to show you guys, and I can't because they distorted my color, and I'm about to tell you why. And I'm about to tell you how crazy it gets, okay? And the little secrets of censorship in case any of you guys speak against synthetics and ivermectin, all these things the way that I do. There's a reason these things are all up in your face. It's not because they're actually good. So I made a TikTok video as I'm working on this order because I pulled out a new syrup. I opened it for myself because I'm just so spoiled on my coffee. I love to have my coffee syrups with it. And they help me get rid of parasites. They help with my metabolism. They help remove biofilm. And they just taste so freaking good. And I'm getting so much actually natural folate and folic acid. Unlike the synthetic, any bottle that says folate or folic acid on it has nanotech. All that's exposed in my Patreon. So I'm making this video talking about my syrup. Then I start talking about my super immune adaptogen tonic. And the reason I was talking about it is because I could feel it going to work in my stomach. And I start talking about how powerful it is and how amazing it is for the pineal gland. And I couldn't say one thing without the other. I had to mention Ormus. I had to mention it because the things that this product does is the same thing that they say that Ormus does. And Ormus is going to be fully exposed in my Patreon. I have so much content, so much information on that, but I can only take things one day at a time as a one-woman show. You know, I've got customers, I've got health consultations, I'm a live-in nurse, I make everything by hand, I've got this garden to table, garden to cup. And then getting around the censorship is basically a full-time job in itself. So there's just, I have bills to pay, and I only charge $5 a month for Patreon. So, you know, I can only do what I can. Last night I released part 13 of why you should not take ivermectin. Today I'm going to do a short video exposing Mel Gibson, which is why I'm not live on my other account, because I started exposing Mel Gibson and it's really, really dirty and it's really, really ugly. And they pulled off my live. So I can't get any of that video from my live. I can't access it because when they take your live down, you cannot access the archive of that live. And so, but anyways, needless to say, but I did drop a huge video last night, part 13. I had to break it up into 2 parts because Patreon was giving me issues. Today, I'm going to expose more of Mel Gibson. But the reason my color is distorted. Now, It's not distorted on YouTube, but it was on my phone, and this is why. This is why it's not distorted on YouTube right now. Because in the last video I posted on TikTok, not the last video, before the last video, before they distorted my color, the reason they distorted my color, and you can actually go back and listen to that video, you can hear how I didn't actually say anything. But they didn't like the fact that I mentioned Ormus, and that I mentioned that it's taken into a lab and that it's not good for you. And that's all that I said. And this is the cover photo of that video. And I'll put the same cover photo here on this live. But if you go to my account on TikTok called Sovereign Hippie 2.0, there are 2 videos with that cover photo right there. It's a cover photo of my product called Super Immune Adaptogen Tonic. Today's date is January 12th, okay? So it is a cover photo of this. There's 2 in a row. The second one is just talking about the fact that they distorted my color after posting about this. And the first one is actually talking a little bit about this. And I said nothing about Ormus. They just didn't like the fact that I told you guys the truth, that Ormus is really, really bad for you. And it's going to be thoroughly exposed, like I said. I'm not going to get into the details, and I have to be careful with what I say. And I was saying that because I took a dropper of my Super Immune Adaptogen Tonic this morning, which I never ever do, and it's incredibly, and I can feel it right now. I mean, like, I'm just wired up. It gives you immense energy through the cordyceps. Specifically, it gives you immense energy through the cordyceps. And I had to mention this because I had piloerection in my arm right after taking it. I had the goosebumps with the hair standing up. My crown chakra was tingling like crazy because this product, Super Immune Adaptogen Tonic, it is crazy amazing for the pineal gland. It'll quickly go to work decalcifying your pineal gland. And I just know this because of the first time that I actually took it. But before I finish making this sriracha and I talk about this product, I want to tell you why they distorted my color. They distorted my color because anytime I take this product, I think about what they say about Ormus. They say that Ormus decalcifies your pineal gland. They say that Ormus will bring you closer to God, and Ormus will make you more spiritual. The thing is, I believe them, but it's not in a good way, because you have to actually know who's behind AI. You have to know that there's demons behind that. And I have to speak in code. I can't say too much or they'll pull this live too. I can't say too much. And, you know, my Patreon's only $5 a month. All the work's in there. To really understand this, you need to watch the DNA Hoax series. Right now there's 3 parts, and part 4 is coming very soon because I have to release this information. In part 4, we'll have Sabrina Wallace and Dr. Lee Merritt, who's also more controlled op, but she says something that's really key that I showed you guys in the DNA Hoax series that I've run up against, and it's about all the synthetic supplements, all the synthetic vitamins, all the synthetic drugs, and the jabs. They all have one thing in common, and that's what's actually poisoning people, and that's what's actually doing all the cellular damage. And so that's in my DNA Hoax series. My Patreon is Sovereign Hippie. My TikTok, where this video is at, which is why they distorted my color, is Sovereign Hippie. My YouTube is Sovereign Hippie. And the reason my color is distorted is because, once again, every time I take my Super Immune Adaptogen Tonic, I'm reminded about what they say when it comes to Ormus. They say it brings you closer to God, it's going to decalcify your pineal gland. And because I mentioned Ormus in that video, and I didn't even say it, that's why I'm telling you to go look at that video if you want on Sovereign Hippie 2.0 TikTok, because I didn't even say anything. The only thing I said was that it's bad for you. Now, my video wasn't removed, but what they did was, when I went back to take another video, because I was just in my garage, where half of my garden is in my garage, because somebody just picked up an order. And my plants down there are just flourishing. I've got potatoes growing. I've got oregano, so much oregano, 2 types of oregano. I've got holy basil, spearmint, purslane, ginger, morning glories, Thai basil, and my plants down there are just exploding. So I took out my TikTok to try and make a video showing my plants and just, oh God, guys, look at my plants. But then my color was distorted, and I was like, wow. So they distorted my color after posting about the super immune adaptogen tonic. And I was like, wow, they really don't like me talking about my product. The reason they distorted my color is because not only did I talk about the soup, they hate it when I do this, okay? They do not like this. It's not only because I talked about the super immune adaptogen tonic, it's because I offered it as a replacement to their precious Ormus. You see, Ormus is a government product, make no mistake, okay? It doesn't matter which mom and pop are selling it. Just like the frontline doctors made everybody think that they were a grassroots movement, that's already been exposed. So that's in my Patreon. It's the same thing with these things. They make it seem like Ormus is like on the fringe, you know. It's like, you know, it's the thing you're not supposed to know about. No, you're supposed to know about it. And there's a reason why it's trending on TikTok. And I almost got, you know, years ago I found out about Ormus. And I almost got tricked into buying it. And the only reason I never bought it is because anytime you go to buy Ormus, it'll say that there's added energies on it. And I know better. I know better. I'm not going to be taking any added energies because I don't know where they're actually coming from. You don't know what strangers are operating out of. You know, there's a false Holy Spirit. So if a stranger is putting energy on your products, you have no idea what their relationship is with the Lord. You have no idea what's traveling through their highway. It is not smart. And this is why I've never purchased Ormus online. And I don't need to anymore because of the water product that I use. Everything I learned about Ormus, I get from the water product that I use that cleans my water on a molecular level. And it brings my water into more of an Ormus state. I drink water in the fourth phase. This is called living water. There's so much more that goes along with that that's going to be in my Ormus series. Has to do with manna from the Bible. It has to do with the living water mentioned in the Bible. It has to do with how they were sustained in the wilderness. It goes really, really, really deep. But it also has to do with Ormus. It's a hadron collider in your body, and that's all I'm going to say. There's a lot of deep documentation I have to show with that. But TikTok did not like it that not only was I talking about a powerful product, but that I was telling you, you get the same effects from this product that you get with Ormus, except it's not dangerous. It's not taken into a lab, and it's not adulterated in a lab where they do something that I'm not going to say here, because if I keep doing it, they're going to shadow ban me even more. So I'm not even going to say what it is. And that's why, and that's all I said. I just said it's not good for you, and they take it into a lab, and it's adulterated nature, and that my product, the super immune adaptogen tonic, is unadulterated nature. And it's doing the same thing without the bad things, because when you get into a certain thing, it's always wrapped up with artificial intelligence. You cannot have one without the other. Let me block these bots real quick. You cannot have one without the other. Once again, my DNA hoax series is going to go deeper into that. I know you've heard that there's demons behind parasites. I have a very unique and personal experience angle to that. And it's also in the DNA hoax series. So I'm saying that to say you have Ormus and you have my product, the Super Immune Adaptogen Tonic, and that's the only one I can use for an example because that's the only one I know about personally, and I created this product. I did all the research for it. And I know through my experience with it, because the first time I took it, I felt closer to God. In fact, the first time I ever used this product after finally perfecting it and perfecting the taste, in my opinion, I accidentally took it too late, so I stayed up late, and I got a huge revelation at 3 a.m, and I went live at 3 a.m. for about an hour or two on the Bible, on revelations I received from the Lord. So after I said that about Ormus, I went to make another video about 20 minutes later. And when I went to make that video to show people on TikTok my plants, my color was distorted. And here's the crazy thing. When my color is distorted on TikTok, it's not just distorted on TikTok, it's also distorted on Instagram, and it's also distorted on YouTube. So I wanted to go live. I wanted to show you guys my sriracha. And I can't because, and the reason it's not distorted on YouTube, but it's distorted here, is because I'm about to tell you why. Okay? It's because the AI knew which device I was using. Okay? If a lot of times if you're getting censored, you can change devices and get around it momentarily. And so after posting about that and trying to make another video, my color was distorted, and I was like, wow, I only posted about my super immune adaptogen tonic. And then I was like, wait a minute. I briefly mentioned Ormus, and they didn't like it. And they didn't like, this is the double whammy. Many people talk about bad things, but they don't give you a direct solution. Or if they do give you a solution, it's in a whole separate video. Because there's this weird attitude with society that if you're speaking against something and then you talk about your product, that the only reason you're speaking against it is because you're trying to promote your product. But I'm a very different breed, and I'm a very solution-oriented person. I'm not going to talk against one thing without offering a replacement. In fact, that's a huge reason I would talk against something, is because I know that there's way better. So why would I not put it in the same video? You know what I mean? And whoever wants to listen will listen, and they're better for it, because I have an amazing Morgellons review in my store, and she owes the fact that she's finally got progress from her Morgellons, which is a nanotechnology, which is a disease caused by nanotechnology. And there's so much more behind that, and that's coming to my Patreon too. And she owes the fact that she finally started actually getting somewhere to my Living Green Charge and Clean and my Super Immune Adaptogen Tonic. And so when I found out that my color was distorted after posting not only about my product Super Immune, but also very briefly mentioning Ormus, they don't like the fact that I very briefly mentioned Ormus, but then they really don't like the fact that I mentioned a replacement, and I just got straight to the point on a solution that people can easily go grab. They don't like that. And they don't like that it's an actual solution, because a lot of these solutions that you're getting, it's controlled opposition solution. And most people are none the wiser. And by the way, if you like this content, would you please double tap